So I'm sitting in this pile of trash, coming up with all the life stories of the people in the different piles. And as more of my mind is coming back to me, I started expanding my vision even further. I noticed something even weirder than piles with stories. Off in the distance, there were a couple of piles that had been shaped into shelters. Like there were 10 shopping carts strung together and made into one, with plastic bags on the top and tires on top of them to hold the plastic bags down. There's another place where there was a bunch of plywood leaned together like a teepee, and then masking tape around and around to hold it together. And that's when I started to realize those people I saw milling about here, they lived here. I mean, how does something like this exist? And I didn't even know about it. Well, I started feeling extremely creepy, like I was invading somebody's home. So I grabbed my suitcase. I started trying to make my way to the exit as fast as I could. But in my haste, I forgot one of the rules of being in the city. Never make eye contact because you don't know who's crazy. There was this one woman, I made eye contact with her. And that set her off. She pointed a finger at me and started walking towards me saying, You stole my brain! You stole my brain! Okay, I didn't want to go in that direction. So I turned and I figured there's got to be an exit in the other direction. I started going that way. And there was this kid, maybe 20 years old or so, wearing a long trench coat, and he's muttering something. And at first I thought he was talking to me. So I reacted instinctively, excuse me, what? As I said that, I caught what he was saying very fast. Coke, smoke, dope, 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 coke, smoke, dope. He stops in front of me, and he opens up his jacket. He's got some t-shirt with a slogan about God on it, and in the jacket, in the trench coat, there are 20 different pockets sewn in, with bags and needles and vials sticking out of it. He locked eyes with me, and this time he said it in the form of a question. Coke, smoke, dope? I was just about to tell him I don't do drugs when the woman caught up to us. And now I'm surrounded by these two people. You stole my brain. Coke, smoke, dope. You stole my brain. Coke, smoke, dope. You stole my brain. Coke, smoke, dope. And it was then that a hand from behind me rested on my shoulders. And somebody said, Stella, Dwayne, leave the newbie alone. My would-be rescuer steps in front in between me and the other two people. An old guy, probably late 60s, early 70s, walks with a cane, gray hair. And he turns to the woman, who immediately says, But he stole my brain. He wasn't fazed by that. He said, Perhaps he did, Stella, but you used to be a nurse, so you understand human anatomy. You're speaking to me right now. He must have put it back. She stopped. She thought about that, nodded her head. And she turned to start leaving, but then turned back and pointed her finger at me and shot me the evil eye as if to say, I'm going to be watching you. And then she puttered off. And Dwayne! And the kid says, Hey, it's okay. I was just trying to be friendly to the newbie. We don't need your kind of friendliness right now, Dwayne. Please be a dear and leave. So the kid closed up his trench coat, but before he left, he turned back to me and said, Hey, newbie, if you ever want to try my first timer special, seek me out. And then he wandered off. That was my first introduction to Jack, who described himself as the self-appointed greeter to all new potential junkyardians. After we introduced ourselves, he asked me what brought me here, and I had absolutely no interest in sharing my day with this stranger. So I gave him the 5-second version. Wife cheated, friend dumped me, lost my job. How about you? He didn't mind sharing his life story. Went into great detail, so I'll just make it short for all of you. Jack had 2 loves in his life. One of them had been his wife, who he described as the most beautiful angel ever to walk the planet. She was very into charity, and her biggest cause was homelessness, which is how he knew about the junkyard. Because twice a week, they used to come down and bring food and supplies and even more than that, companionship, friendship for all the people who lived here at the junkyard. When she died at age 59 of early onset Parkinson's, he poured himself into his other love, which was his job as a corporate accountant. Which, yes, he loved his job as a corporate accountant. Everybody has their own thing. Until 6 months later, they forced him into retirement, and he lost that as well. So here I come to the end of the line, point of no return, the ending of time. My thoughts are crossed between confusion and rage. It's the end of my rope, my coming of age. I get a pat on the back and a kick out the door. You did a good job, but we don't need you anymore. Go home and relax, enjoy the time that you've got. In other words, pal, why don't you go home and rot? So here I come to my elderly days. No more daily commute, no requesting a raise, no more staying at work past when the workday is done. The government provides Social Security funds. They say now you can relax, all your problems are solved. You can sit by the tube or you can go and play golf. You can sleep until 10 and you can talk on the phone. In other words, bud, why don't you be all alone? Once I was young and alive, and my view of life was high. Then I hit 65, and I found it was a lie. Then they turned all my quote friends. They said you've reached retirement. Shook my hand, gave me a watch, and then waved to me goodbye. So here I come to the end of my career, my step down in life, my gold twilight years. My heart sinks slow, my stomach churns up a storm. My body feels weak and my face must look worn. 'Cause though they say that I'm old and I'm over the hill, I'm way past my prime and I should make out my will. Still they can keep their cliches and they can keep their remorse. I just want my livelihood back.